Hi yogis, and thanks for stopping by my channel. You've found your way here and you are so welcome. I'm Lorna of Lorna Green Yoga, and this channel is my way of giving back and sharing some of the practices, tools and the things I love as I move through this life. Now, if you haven't done it yet, subscribe and show the channel a little bit of love. And I invite you to comment on this practice and share your experiences with the community, and remember to hit the bell so that you always know when something new has arrived. Today, I'm guiding you through a slow flow to greet the autumn equinox, encouraging you to embrace change and move with the ebb and flow of life more smoothly. All you need is you, although you might want to grab a couple of blocks for today's practice, but they're not necessary. So roll out your mat and I'll meet you there. Come to a cross-legged position on the floor, and if you can have your right leg in front of your left so that we're all starting on the same side today. Sitting up tall with the sit bones pressing down into the floor, roll your shoulders down and away from your ears and find length through your spine. Make space between the pelvis and the ribs. Just rest the backs of the hands to the knees for a moment as you begin to turn inwards. Noticing your breath, the rise and fall of your belly, movement of air as you inhale and exhale. Breathing in through the nose. And releasing the breath through the mouth. Taking one or two breaths until you begin to feel more comfortable, perhaps noticing the breath beginning to slow. Turning inwards, letting go of your day. Just allowing yourself to soften and relax the muscles around the eyes, around the jawline and the mouth. Perhaps noticing your tongue feels a little heavier. Your throat's soft. Shoulders are relaxed. And when you're ready with the right leg in front, now of course if you've got your legs crossed at the ankles, this works just as well. We're going to begin to walk the hands forward. Keep your sit bones pressing down as you lengthen and lift through the upper body. Drawing your chest across the legs, lowering down towards the floor. And as you begin to lower, you're going to notice a little tug at the right hip. You can lower down, making two fists, allowing your head to rest on the fists. Feel that gentle stretch across the right hip. Maybe a little squeeze into the left hip socket. Let your shoulders relax, your belly soft. And imagine you're trying to reach your belly and your chest across your legs, but at the same time, the sit bones, your buttocks, they stay pressed into the floor. So everything from the waist down is heavy and sinking, and everything from the waist up is long and lengthening. As you breathe in, expand all the way into the back of the body. Breathing out, draw the tummy muscles back towards the spine. Just feeling the back of the body relax as you squeeze gently through the front of the body. Taking a breath in, preparing to move. Just draw your gaze upwards, keeping the length of your body low and heavy. Begin to walk your hands towards the right knee, staying low. And as your belly twists towards that right thigh, just notice when you feel the first point of resistance. Whenever you reach that point, that's exactly where you're supposed to be, and you can sink down even more. Let your head rest. Perhaps your head's resting on your knees. If you need a little bit of help here, you can always grab a block, or you can even just use your knee to rest your hands and let your belly sink down. Play with the position until you find one that feels good in your body. Feeling that squeeze. into the hips and along the back. So you're kind of stretching out this left side of the lower spine. Take a breath in. And as you breathe out, press the floor away with your palms. Maybe walk the hands back towards the body, looking over that right knee, walking up slowly, coming all the way back to upright, and then twisting to center. Roll the shoulders as you arrive here. Take a breath in and out, and then as you do, just swap your legs. So this time the left leg is in front of the right. We're going to do the same on this side. So walking the hands forward. And you might notice it feels a little bit awkward when you do this, because we all have a good side and well, it's not so much a bad side, it's just the side that we don't use that much. So it's going to feel strange to have this left leg forward, or unless the right leg, of course, is your bad side. Stretch, stretch, stretch through the upper body and sink down through the lower, making two fists, allowing the forehead to rest. Take all of your attention into your breath. Breathe deeply, expanding all the way to the back of the body. As you fill your lungs with air, feel that little tug in the left buttock now. Be sure that you haven't gone beyond that first point of resistance, so just keep checking in with yourself. Make sure that you're not pushing or forcing, rather listen to your body, pay attention to what it's telling you. And on the next inhale, preparing to move, just drawing the gaze upwards, but keeping the upper body heavy. Begin to walk the hands to the left side, so your belly stays really low, and just gently twisting. And you might find this is easier, you might find this is more challenging on this side. Make sure that you're not rocking from the sit bones. So as you try and move to the left, don't allow this right knee and right hip to lift away from the floor, but rather keep pressing it down so that you can feel more of a stretch into the right side of the body. Let your head sink down. Shoulders are heavy. Back is long. Close your eyes if it feels good to do so here, or at least soften your gaze. With each breath, turning a little more inward. Taking a deep inhale. As you exhale, press through the palms. Begin to walk the hands back towards the body as you rise up, coming all the way back up to sitting. Looking over the left knee before you pivot, come back to center. Take some breaths, maybe roll the shoulders if it feels good. You might get some popping and crunching here. Roll them in one direction and then in the other. Good. And release the legs. And as you do, just take them in front of you for a moment. Knees bent, feet are flat on the floor. You can take your hands behind you, the fingertips pointing away. And just shift the knees from side to side. Make sure there's no tension in your hips. Shaking out any tightness that you might be feeling. And as you drop the knees to either left or right, doesn't matter, just pivot all the way onto the knees, coming onto all fours, taking an all fours position. So You want to make sure that your wrists and your shoulders are in line, your knees and your hips settling into the tabletop. Taking a breath in, you're going to reach the right leg behind you, lifting it in line with your body. So we're not trying to lift it too high, keeping the hips square to the floor. Take a couple of breaths, just getting used to that sensation. Make sure that you're not tilting your body forward or trying to sit back. Keep the shoulders and the wrists in line. Pressing through the base of the fingers with some extra emphasis on the thumb and the first finger. And a bend at the knee and draw your knee to your right side, beginning to circle. So imagine that you're drawing big circles with that right knee, keeping your upper body strong as you move. So you're trying not to sort of let everything twist, but rather just feel the movement from your hip, using your knee to draw these circles. Once more. Extending the leg behind you. Take a breath in, and as you breathe out, bending the knee once more, as if you're trying to touch it to your right elbow. But as you breathe out, drop the foot next to your right hand. Inhale, sink down towards the floor, your hips heavy. Open your chest, drawing your torso upwards. Just feel that lunge opening up your hips. As you breathe out, push up on your toe and draw your leg back to where it started. Inhale, stretch out, maybe a little arch in the back this time. Exhale as if you're about to touch your elbow and then stepping forward. Inhale, open as you sink down. Take a couple of breaths. Inhale, prepare to move as you exhale. Lift the leg behind you. Inhale, arching one more time. Stepping forward, feeling a little bit of fire in your belly. Inhale to open the chest. And exhale, return. Inhale, extend, and then just bring that right knee to land on the floor. Take a moment to sink the hips to the heels. Drawing upwards, let your shoulders pass beyond your wrists. Just shifting your weight from heels to hands. You don't have to go far to get benefit from this. Just bringing some gentle movement, controlled compression. And we're going to do the same on the left side. Finding your tabletop once more. Make sure that you've got alignment between the joints, and then extend your left leg behind you. Take a breath in. And make sure that your leg is kind of balanced in line with the body. So you don't want to take it too high, arching the back at this point. Now bend the left knee and then direct it out to the left side as we begin to roll. Oh, I'm rolling the wrong way. There we go. Rolling it around in these big hip circles. Use your belly. Keep it controlled. You're going to feel some fire, maybe around the hips, maybe through your tummy. Extending. And then as you breathe out, stepping the left foot forward, sink down to open the hips, open the chest as you inhale, and exhale, up on the toes, skipping the left leg back. Inhale, a little arch in the back this time. Exhale as if you're trying to touch the elbow, stepping forward, sinking down as you inhale. You need to come up onto the fingertips or grab a couple of blocks. You can do that. Exhale, all the way back. Inhale, last one. Exhale to step. Inhale, open the chest. Take a couple of breaths. And as you exhale, press through the toes, scooping back. Inhale, a little squeeze into the lower back before you return the left knee to the floor. Sink the hips to the heels. Let the shoulders pass beyond the wrists. Make sure you're pressing through the base of the fingers. And just be aware of what's going on in your wrists. Don't let them get uncomfortable. Coming into child's pose. Sinking your belly between your thighs. Reach your hands forward. You can walk your fingertips away from you. Pressing through the fingertips. Raising your palms away from the mat. Feel that stretch all the way through to the shoulder blades. Keep your hips heavy towards your heels. Take some breaths. Just enjoy the sensation. Maybe a little sway from side to side feels good. And begin to walk the hands back towards the body as you raise up, rolling through the hips, the waist, the shoulders, and eventually drawing the head and neck all the way to upright. You're going to keep going. Tuck the toes under, rolling and rocking through the toes, rolling the hips, coming to your squat position. So I'm going to move just so that you can see a little more clearly what I'm doing. You can shift the weight from side to side, maybe extending the space between the legs, finding a position where you can sink your hips down and your heels come to the floor. Now, there's a good chance that your heels are not going to come to the floor the first time you do this, and that's okay. Grab some cushions, a couple of pillows actually work really well. Put something under the heels so that you can shift your weight back into the heels. You're not raising up on the balls of the feet. And allow your body to just melt, sink into this, what feels like the most unnatural position, but it is in fact one of the best positions for our body. Use your elbows to gently nudge the knees a little bit wider, press your palms together and open your chest. See if you can lift your torso out of your pelvis. Take some deep breaths. Keep sinking your weight towards your heels. Draw your belly in. At the same time, opening the chest, opening the shoulders a little. Breathing in and out. And as you get more and more comfortable here, or is it more and more uncomfortable? I'm not sure. You're going to take your left palm and bring it close to your left foot. Use your tricep to press into the left knee. Turn your belly towards the right and reach your arm up to the sky. Just as far as you can go comfortably, it doesn't have to go far. Bring the right palm down, placing it next to the right foot. Use your tricep once again just to press into the right knee. Turn your belly and reach up. Notice if it feels different on this side than it did on the right. Coming all the way down. With palms to the floor, shift your weight forward. Push your hips up, keep your knees bent. Heel, toe, your feet, shifting your weight from left to right, right to left. Keep those knees bent and let yourself flop forward, ragdoll. You can hug the elbows. Let your belly rest on the shelf made by your thighs. Press down through the soles of the feet, solid and strong. Take some breaths. And then begin to rise up. Rolling up through your spine. You can draw the fingertips along the front of the body. As you breathe out, rounding the spine. Rolling hips, waist, shoulders, and eventually drawing the head and neck all the way up, coming to upright. I'm just going to grab a couple of blocks in case you need them for this next section. So, Equinox is all about balance. It's the perfect time to practice your balances on your yoga mat. So we begin with the right leg, raising away from the floor. I want you to take a step with your left foot, as if you're about to walk. Taking a step, rocking your foot onto the floor, spread your toes wide, feel your weight shifting to your left side. Now as you feel yourself grounding and rooting down with that left leg, you're going to take your right foot and you can begin by just keeping the right toes on the floor, resting the sole of the right foot at the ankle, standing tall, feeling the power through your core, shoulders down, and you can hang out here. Now if this is feeling good, if this is feeling a little bit simple, then you can take the leg a little bit higher. But what I want you to be aware of if you do that, make sure that you're not pressing into the knee joint itself. So either below or above. There's a nice little sort of sweet spot just above the knee that you can kind of rest your heel on. It's very, very comfortable. And you can hang out here, and again, play around with your balance. If you want to take it a little bit higher, you can hold on to the ankle, pressing the sole of the foot just below the groin. And again, the body provides these wonderful dips and curves and spaces for us to work with. There's a space between two muscles in the thigh. It's actually very soft, and you can kind of palpate it, and you can put your heel in there. And as you press your thigh and your heel together, it gives you a really solid base for your tree pose. So you can bring your palms together, fixing your gaze on something that is in the distance, preferably not moving. Take a breath in, and if you're feeling pretty balanced here, then maybe you can raise your arms up. Maybe it feels good to take them wide. You can play with whatever you want to do. It might feel good to you just to keep the arms down by the side of the body. Whatever you choose, keep your focus, keep your gaze soft. Now, maintaining your balance. You're going to take a hold of your ankle or draw it up if your foot's been a little bit lower. Crossing your right ankle just above your left knee. So you're making what looks like a number 4. Taking your hand to your knee and your foot. Begin to bend that left knee like you're sitting in the comfiest chair, just waiting for your butt to land on it. So sink down, bending through that left leg. You can hold on to the knee and the foot of the right leg. Make sure that you're in the right place. Sinking down, lengthening through your spine. So keep pressing your hips back, almost like you're sticking your butt out. Take your right hand and press gently on the right knee so you can feel that stretch through your hip a little bit more. Keep pressing down, bending a little more each time. Eventually reaching out for the floor. I'm going to turn to the side so that you can see what I'm doing here. Now, if you have a block and you want to use it, now would be a good time to grab it. As you sink down, reach for your block rather than reaching for the floor. It'll allow you to keep your chest a bit more open, not collapse. If you're feeling okay to come down to the floor, reach your fingertips, let your back get nice and long, let gravity do all the work. Look back as if you're looking at your knees. Head is heavy. You can play with bent leg or straight leg. Whatever feels good. Now you have the choice to use the block here or to come down to the floor. You're going to take your hands a little bit further in front of your body, maybe about 6 inches or so. Make sure that your left hand is to the outside of the left foot. I'm going to take a big breath in. And as you breathe out, slide your right leg all the way behind you, reaching it up. As you do, straighten the left leg. Let your weight sink forward so that you're bringing your shoulder and your wrist in line. Now, as you do this, if you're using a block, you're going to find your right hand's a little bit in space. If you're doing this on the floor, then both hands are going to be on the floor quite comfortably. Taking a breath. You're going to turn your head to the right side. Take your gaze to the right. And if it feels good, See if you can raise your arm up. Find your balance. Lean into your shoulder. And then sweep your right arm up and overhead. I didn't give myself enough room for that, did I? Bending the left leg, stepping back into your warrior two. Holding here for a moment. Take a breath before you turn the left palm up to face the ceiling. Take an inhale, making space between the pelvis and the ribs, reaching up as you exhale, leaning all the way back. Inhale, windmill the arms, keeping the front knee bent. Left elbow comes to left knee, right arm reaches up and over. So you've got one long line from the tips of the right fingers all the way down to your right foot. Sweeping the right hand in front of the body, bending both knees. Turn your feet to about 45 degrees. Sink down. Yes, it's another squat, I'm sorry. Take the palms to the knees, fingers turned inwards. Sink down to that first point of resistance. Don't go beyond it. Maybe a little shuffle from side to side. Take some breaths. Keep your chest open. Don't allow yourself to collapse forward. Sinking into goddess pose. Press with the right palm to the right knee and push your right shoulder over to the left side. And then swap. Left shoulder comes over to the right. Shifting from side to side. Make sure that you stay low, or as low as you can, as you move the shoulders. And then come back to center. One more time, just holding. Maybe bring the palms together before you press upwards. And either you can shuffle the feet together, heel toe, or if you feel like adding a little more of a power move, you're going to push through your left leg, stepping to the top of the mat. Take a breath in. You're going to find the position that works for you with the left leg in your tree pose. Whatever position you choose, it's just perfect for you today. Find your balance and just enjoy it. Relax your shoulders. Choose the right position for your hands, your arms. Feel that celebration as you balance your body and your mind. The more still your mind, the more calm your mind, the more easily you'll find your balance. When you're distracted, when your mind is firing off in all directions, that's when you lose it. Slowly, when you're ready, take that left ankle and slide it to just above the right knee. Find the position that feels most comfortable. You can begin to hinge at the hips, bending forward, and as you do, sink down through the right leg. You can use your left palm to gently press down on the left knee. Feel that stretch. And as you bend a little bit more, sinking down towards the floor. You can reach your fingertips. Let your head get heavy. Playing with all of the positions. Straightening the right leg, bending the right leg, letting the head be heavy. Perhaps bending the elbows a little. Finding whatever works for you. And then making your choice as to whether you want to use a block or if you're going to use the floor. And you're going to take a big breath in. And as you breathe out, scooping the left leg behind you. Lifting it high into the air, straightening the right leg. Making sure that you're shifting your weight forward so that your right shoulder and your right wrist come to meet. When you feel like you've got your balance, and slowly turn your head, raising the left arm up, opening your body. Then reaching that left arm all the way forward. And just as you think it's coming down to the floor, bend the right knee, stepping back, coming into your warrior two. Hold, looking down the middle finger of the right hand, then turning the right palm upwards. Inhale to reach up. Exhale to lean back. Inhale, reach up all the way over. Right elbow comes to right knee. Left arm reaches up, so you're making one long line with your body. Take a breath. This time, sweep the left hand in front of you as you come to your goddess pose. Feet are around about 45 degrees. Press the heel of the hand into the tops of the thighs. Begin to shift your weight. Shoulder sinking to opposite knee. Maybe noticing this time, can you go a little bit deeper? Does it feel easier to hold this position? Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. One more. Continuing to sway and shift your weight between the left leg and the right leg. And as you move, perhaps going a little bit deeper, reaching your fingertips to the floor. Continuing to move from side to side, noticing maybe if the palms can now reach the floor. Eventually, coming all the way down into a side squat. Holding, bring the palms together if it feels good. Chest is open, sinking down into your hips. Use your hands to rise up and slide all the way over to the opposite side. If you're not quite in the right place, do a little wiggle. Wasn't quite in the right position. Shifting the weight this time, bend your left knee, bend your right knee to come all the way down to the floor. Now, if you have got a couple of blocks with you, I'm going to recommend that you use them for this final section. We're going to take one block and rest it just at the base of the ribs, all the way up to the top of the shoulders. You're going to take your second block and you're going to use it just behind your head. So begin to lower yourself down onto the floor, finding that juicy position for your block. Take your other one so that you can rest your head. You're going to bring the soles of the feet together and let your knees melt outwards. Arms are by the side of the body so you can feel your chest expanding and opening. Let your shoulder blades mold to the shape of the block. With each breath, softening and relaxing. If you're finding this a little bit intense on the inner thigh, grab a couple of pillows. A couple of cushions work really well, just under the thighs, supporting you. Breathe into the belly, softening the back. Tuck your chin towards your chest. And you're going to hold here as long as you feel you need to. Relax. Give yourself permission to be completely comfortable. This is your opportunity for stillness, to sink ever more inward, down into the space between the breaths, that place that's uniquely yours. And you know what your body needs right now. You know how long you need to be here. There's no right or wrong. There's no time limit. Turning your attention to your breath. Staying here as long as you need to. Embracing change. Knowing that the darker days are coming. The colder days. And finding gratitude for all that these days bring. It's a time for planning. It's a time for turning in, listening to your body, listening to your mind, letting go of what hasn't worked for you this year, and learning to nurture the things that have. Change can be challenging, but change is good. And you can move with the ebb and flow of life so smoothly, effortlessly, staying in stillness until you're ready to go out into the world once more.